Welcome back to the deep dive. So we've got a really interesting one today because it touches on a frustration that, I think pretty much everyone has felt recently.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You go online, you're looking for a specific answer, a technical fix, whatever, and you just have to wade through this ocean of SEO filler to find it.
Oh, the recipe blog phenomenon.
Right.
You want the cookie recipe, but first you have to read a 3,000-word essay about the author's childhood summers in Vermont.
Exactly. And for the last, decade, that actually worked. That's how you won the Google game. You padded the word count, stuffed in the keywords, and you kept people on the page.
Mm-hmm.
But today we are looking at a set of insights that suggest that era isn't just ending. It's practically already dead. We're digging into a framework called precision pathways from the team at Rank for AI.
And this is a really crucial read for anyone with a digital presence right now. The core argument is that we're moving from an era of search, where we hunt for links, to an era of synthesis. Yeah, where you just ask an AI agent, ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever, to just give you the answer.
Right. It's the difference between asking a librarian for a book on plumbing and asking a plumber how to fix the leak.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
One gives you homework, the other gives you a solution.
And the mission today is to figure out, okay, how do you optimize your website so that a machine doesn't just crawl it, but it actually understands it well enough to recommend it?
It's not about keywords anymore.
Not at all. It's about something the source calls AI confidence.
Which is such a fascinating concept. It's less about, are you relevant, and more about, do I, the AI, trust that I know what you are?
Precisely.
So if you're listening and you have a website for a massive company, a small local business, even just a personal portfolio, stick around. Because by the end of this, we're going to give you a specific 30-second test you can run on your homepage to see if you are just invisible to these new AI models.
And fair warning, it's a test most websites are failing right now. I've seen Fortune 500 companies fail this test.
I failed it. I tried it mentally this morning and I completely failed it. But before we get to that test, we need to define the beast, right?
Right.
The source material draws this really sharp line between old SEO and AI optimization.
Yeah, and to get that, you have to understand how the machines actually read. In the old days, with traditional SEO, you were essentially feeding a librarian.
Okay.
You gave Google a card that said plumber in Chicago, and Google filed it under plumber. If you said plumber 50 times, Google went, wow, this must be a really important plumber.
Right. Keywords were just tags. More tags meant more relevance. Simple.
Exactly. But large language models, LLMs, they don't work like librarians. They work more like detectives building a case.
Oh, I like that.
They aren't just counting your keywords. They're looking for semantic relationships. They are building a knowledge graph.
Knowledge graph. Okay, that's a term that gets thrown around a lot in tech,
It does, yeah.
So let's ground that. What does that actually mean for someone listening?
Okay, think of it like a huge interconnected map of concepts. The AI knows that plumber is related to pipe, leak, water, wrench. It knows they all fit together logically.
Right.
The source material basically says that optimizing for AI is all about structuring your site so the AI can slot you into that map with 100% certainty.
It wants to know your exact address on the map.
Right. And that leads to this idea of the confidence score from the report. And this isn't a score you can see like in Google Analytics. It's an internal weight inside the model.
So how does that actually play out in a search?
All right. Say you ask ChatGPT, who is the best vendor for enterprise cloud security? The model runs a calculation, it looks at all these companies, and it assigns a probability that a company is actually what you asked for.
Okay.
So if the AI is 99% sure company A does cloud security, but it's only, say, 60% sure company B does it.
Maybe because company B also talks about selling printers and office chairs on its site.
Exactly. The AI is going to recommend company A.
That is the killer insight right there. In traditional search, being a jack of all trades might have helped you rank for a few different things.
It could, yeah.
In AI search, being a jack of all trades just dilutes your signal.
It dilutes your signal. Perfectly put. It introduces what data scientists call entropy, or noise. The goal of AI optimization, according to the source, is, and I'm quoting here, structuring your website so that AI systems can clearly understand your organization and confidently recommend it.
The keyword there is confidently.
That's the one.
So if the machine is confused, you are invisible.
You're not on page 2? You just don't exist in the final answer. The AI will not risk hallucinating a recommendation if it doesn't show.
That's terrifying. But, okay, it also clarifies things. So Rank 4 AI lays out a roadmap to fix this. They break it down into 3 pillars: clarity, structure, and consistency. Let's tackle the first one because it starts right at the front door, the homepage.
Step 1, the homepage strategy. The rule here is deceptively simple. Define your organization clearly in one stable sentence on your homepage.
One stable sentence. I feel like corporate marketing departments just broke out in a cold sweat.
Oh, absolutely.
We love our buzzwords. We love being everything to everyone.
You go to a tech company site and the headline is Empowering Synergistic Futures. Or,
We unlock potential. That's my favorite.
right, to a human, that's just generic marketing fluff. We tune it out, but we kind of get the vibe. To an AI, that is a null value. It means nothing.
It means nothing.
Unlock potential is not a specific category in the knowledge graph. It doesn't map to a service or a real product.
So the AI looks at that and just goes, I have no idea if you sell software or if you sell coffee.
Exactly. The source is so adamant about this, you have to be literal. Noun and verb. We are a commercial landscaping firm for municipal parks.
No.
We sell CRM software for dental practices.
It's almost painful how boring that sounds to a marketer, isn't it?
It does.
We're trained to be aspirational.
Mm.
But the AI doesn't dream, it just categorizes.
It needs the raw data. And there's another really important word in that rule I want to zoom in on. Stable.
Yeah, why stable? Why can't I A/B test my headline every week?
Because of how these models are trained. They scrape the web periodically, not instantly.
Yeah.
So if in January your site says you're a digital agency, and then in March you rebrand to growth partners, and in June you're brand architects.
You're breaking the continuity.
You're breaking the continuity. The AI sees a shifting identity. It lowers that confidence score we were talking about.
It thinks I can't rely on this thing's definition because it just keeps changing on me.
It's like having a friend who changes their career story every time you see them.
Oh, yeah. 1 week they're a writer.
Next week a DJ, now they're a crypto trader.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually you stop recommending them for jobs because you don't actually know what they do anymore.
That is a perfect analogy. The AI just wants to know you're a reliable entity. So the takeaway is, pick your definition. Make it literal. Put it in your main headline, your H1 tag, and just leave it alone.
Commit to the bit.
Okay, so we've anchored the identity on the homepage. Now we go deeper. Step 2 is about service page architecture. This is where the source gets into the nitty-gritty of how to write the actual content.
And this is where they push for the inverted pyramid style.
Yeah.
It's classic journalism, really, but applied to code. The rule is, ensure each service page focuses on one primary subject and directly answer the implied question in the opening paragraph.
Okay, let's unpack the implied question. I thought that was a really useful way to think about writing copy.
It changes everything. So if a user lands on a page titled Enterprise Data Recovery, what is the implied question in their head?
Well, they're probably panicking. So the question is, can you recover my enterprise data? Or how fast can you do it?
Exactly. The user and the AI acting for the user wants a binary answer first. Yes, we recover data using cloud-based backups.
But that's not what we usually get, is it? We get the history lesson.
The history lesson. Founded in 1998, we have always believed that data is the lifeblood of business.
Oh, I hate that. Or in today's fast-paced digital world.
Ugh, the worst. It's on every website. The source warns explicitly against this. They call it low-entropy information.
Predictable filler.
It's predictable filler.
Mm-hmm.
It delays the explanation. And for an AI, delay is deadly.
Why? Why is delay so bad for an AI? Is it just like an attention span thing?
It's a processing cost thing. LLMs process text in tokens, and they have a context window, a limit on how much they can focus on at once.
Okay.
If you force the AI to read 500 words of backstory before you get to the point, 2 things happen. 1, you're wasting its processing budget. 2, the further down the page a fact is, the less weight the model gives it as the core topic.
So if the answer is buried in paragraph 4, the AI might just conclude the page isn't really about the answer, it just kind of mentions it.
Exactly. If you want to be the answer, you have to put the answer at the top. The source is brutal in this point. Long introductions that delay explanation lower the probability of citation.
It's funny because, again, this is exactly what human users want, too. Nobody wants to read the intro. We all skim past it trying to find the pricing or the features.
We'll come back to that idea that optimizing for AI is just optimizing for impatient humans.
Yeah.
But yeah, efficiency creates confidence.
So 1 page, 1 subject. Answer the question immediately. Now, step 3. This one seems like the biggest trap for small and medium-sized businesses. It's about mixed messaging.
This ties right back to that whole entity problem. The rule is remove mixed messaging to preserve the integrity of the knowledge graph.
Which sounds very sci-fi. Integrity of the knowledge graph. What does
Yeah.
that look like in practice?
It looks like focus. The source gives a great example. Let's say your homepage says, we are a dedicated PR firm for the fashion industry. That's your stable sentence. Strong, clear.
Okay, got it.
But then you have a blog post about SEO for car mechanics and a service page about social media for restaurants.
Because you're trying to cast a wide net. You needed revenue that month, so you took a client that was outside your main niche.
Right. Human logic says, hey, revenue is revenue. AI logic says, data contradiction. The AI asks, are you a fashion PR firm or are you a generalist agency?
Can't place you.
It can't place you cleanly in the fashion cluster of its map because you keep signaling that you also belong in the automotive and restaurant clusters.
And by trying to belong everywhere.
You belong nowhere. The AI will actually lower your rank for fashion PR because you've diluted your own authority with all this unrelated content.
So the strategy here is just ruthless consistency. If you want to rank for X, you basically shouldn't talk about Y on the same website.
Or you have to structure it so clearly that the AI understands it's a secondary thing, not a conflict. But the safest bet, according to Rank 4 AI, is to niche down. The AI rewards specialists.
This is a real problem for businesses that pride themselves on being a one-stop shop.
It is, and the source actually addresses this in their avoid list. They specifically call out grouping unrelated services as a major error.
I see this all the time on local business sites. A single page called services, and it's just a bulleted list. Plumbing, HVAC, electrical, drywall, painting.
A nightmare.
Why is that such a nightmare for the AI? I mean, it can read the list, can it?
It can read the words, sure, but it struggles to index the page as an authority on any one thing. If someone asks, who's the best electrician?
Yeah.
The AI is looking for pages that are about electrical work.
Right.
If your page is only 20% electrical and 80% other stuff, it's just statistically less relevant than your competitor's page that is 100% about electrical work.
It's vector math.
It is. The competitor's vector points straight at electrician. Your vector points somewhere in the middle of a messy cloud of home services. The straight vector always wins.
So the actionable advice is break it up.
Break it up. Create a dedicated URL for plumbing, a dedicated URL for HVAC. Let the AI index them as separate authoritative things. Don't source them to share a bedroom.
Okay, so let's just recap that avoid list, because there were 3 big killers mentioned. We talked about grouping services. We talked about delay tactics, burying the lead. What was the third one?
Vague service descriptions. This goes back to the homepage problem, but it applies everywhere. You know, using words like solutions, synergy, empowerment.
We provide 360-degree business solutions.
I challenge you to tell me what that business actually does.
No idea.
Do they sell software? Consulting? Do they clean the windows? I have no idea.
Right.
Neither does the AI. And if it doesn't know, it won't guess. It just skips you.
It really feels like the era of corporate speak is over. If you want to be found, you have to speak like a dictionary.
You have to speak like a database. Databases love specifics. They hate ambiguity.
Okay, so we have the theory. We get the why. Now, I promised everyone a test. A way to audit their own site right now without hiring anyone. The source gives a protocol for this.
And I love this protocol because it forces you to be honest. It's called the 2-sentence test.
Walk us through it.
Okay, so ideally, you do this with a fresh pair of eyes. Maybe a friend who doesn't know your business that well. But you can do it yourself if you're objective. You look only at your homepage. Ignore the blog, ignore the about page, ignore everything else. Just the homepage.
Here's the homepage. Okay.
Now ask yourself, based only on the text I can see right here, could a machine accurately summarize my entire business model in 2 sentences?
That's tough. A lot of homepages are just vibes, you know, a big hero image, a contact us button, maybe a testimonial that just says they were great.
Exactly. They were great. Great at what? If the text doesn't explicitly say they fixed my roof, the AI doesn't know.
Right.
And if you fail this test, if you look at your homepage and realize it's mostly slogans and pictures, the source has a very specific piece of advice.
Which is improve clarity before adding more content.
That is the golden rule.
Which is so counterintuitive to that whole content is king mentality. Usually when your traffic is down, the first instinct is write more blogs, make more videos.
Feed the beast.
Yeah. Right. But Rank 4 AI is saying, stop.
They're saying if your foundation is cracked, building a heavier house on top of it is a really bad idea. If the AI can't figure out who you are from your homepage, adding 500 blog posts is just adding 500 pages of confusion.
You are scaling your lack of clarity.
That's it. That is a profound point. You can't content market your way out of an identity crisis.
Wow.
You have to fix the definition first. Once the AI is confident in who you are, then every blog post you write reinforces that authority. But if you skip that first step, you are just shouting into the void.
I tried this test on a local restaurant site earlier. Beautiful video of a steak sizzling, a review that said, "Best night ever," a book table button. Nowhere, and I mean nowhere, did it say steakhouse or Italian or fine dining.
So if I ask an AI, find me a steakhouse in this neighborhood, that restaurant is gambling entirely on the AI recognizing a picture of a steak.
Which, I mean, it might.
It might. Multimodal models are getting better, but why gamble? Why make the machine work for it? Text is cheap. Text is clear. Just write, "the best steakhouse in downtown." Give the AI the anchor it needs.
It seems so obvious when you say it, but we get so caught up in design and aesthetics that we forget the functional utility of just words.
We design for humans who can infer context. We assume the user sees a steak and thinks steakhouse. But we need to be designing for the machine that indexes that context.
So let's zoom out. We've covered the shift from keywords to concepts, the importance of a stable homepage definition, the answer-first architecture for service pages, and the need for consistent, unmixed messaging.
The 3 pillars.
What strikes me about all of this is that while we're talking about robots, everything we've discussed is actually just good communication.
It is.
Being clear. Good. Answering the question immediately. Good. Not using corporate jargon. Very good.
It brings up a really provocative thought for me. I mean, we spent 20 years learning to write for SEO, which often meant writing really badly.
Right. Stuffing keywords, writing these long robotic articles. Here is a list of the 10 best plumbers. Number 1 is a plumber.
Exactly. Just garbage. But now the AI is forcing us to be better writers. Because the AI models are trained to value high entropy, information-dense, factual, clear content, we're being incentivized to stop writing fluff.
So by optimizing for the machine, we're actually making the web better for humans.
I think so. Think about that implied question rule. If every website I visited actually answered my question in the first paragraph, my life would be measurably better.
You wouldn't have to scroll. You wouldn't have to hunt.
No. It's almost like the AI is acting as a really strict editor. It's saying, cut the nonsense, get to the point, or I'm cutting you.
It has zero tolerance for ambiguity.
And frankly, neither do modern users. We're all busy.
Yep.
We all want the answer now. The AI is just the mechanism enforcing that demand.
That's a really hopeful place to land, actually. We aren't just serving the robot overlords. We're tidying up our own house.
We're decluttering the internet.
So here's the challenge for you listening. As this wraps up, don't just nod along.
No, actually do it.
Open a new tab. Right now, type in your URL and just look at your homepage with the cold, unfeeling eyes of a machine.
Be brutal.
Does it say what you do? Or does it say, "We deliver dreams"? If it's the latter, you have work to do.
Delete the slogan. Write the sentence.
Simple as that. Thanks for diving in with us. Hopefully your digital footprint is a little clearer by tomorrow.
Stay clear, everyone.
See you next time on The Deep Dive.